Okay, good evening, everybody. I'm just checking the audio to make sure we got some audio here and that everybody can hear me. I'll give it a second here. Sounds like we got audio. We're rocking and rolling. I hope everybody's having a great weekend this weekend. And I'm going to crack open my bubbly water here. Okay, ready to get started. Waiting for everybody to join in on the live stream right now. Cool. Let's turn this cover off. Cool. How's everybody doing tonight? Good to see you. I got Buddha Belly stating, hey, can't wait. And hello back to you. I hope everybody's doing great. If this is your first time dropping into the live stream and you're new to the channel, well, welcome. My name is Paul Angeli and I'm a live action storyboard artist. And looking forward to tonight's topic. This is our weekend jam session. This is our storyboard jam session. We're going to be doing a little bit of storyboarding, some work. I had a special request from Buddha Belly today, and so we'll give it a few minutes here to get people logged in here and get started on tonight's broadcast for our live stream. So it's been a busy week. I can't believe the month. It's already been what, today's the 11th. Oh my goodness gracious, it's gone by so quick. I've been enthralled with this mermaid project and that I'm putting together here, and sharing a lot of the artwork with you friends out there, and I hope you're enjoying it, on Instagram. And I got a lot of people following it to see what's going on and liking and doing all that fun stuff with it, but just showing the processes for everything as I put this thing together. What do I have? I have, looks like as of today, 3 weeks left to get that project done. And we got a lot of great, concept art and beat boards and things like that. And the style of the Ronin mermaid warrior princess is pretty much coming together. And it's great too. It looks like the my friends over at the official mermaid, challenge have been looking at the work too, and getting some great feedback from those folks. And it's great to see that. So, I have been having fun with it. We talked about it, I don't know if it was the last broadcast or, or before, but you got to do your own projects, and I took on this mermaid challenge to do my own project, and I got enough on my plate right now, but I threw an extra project on there to have some fun with it. And I put that challenge to all of you friends out there and fellow visual storytellers, comic artists, storyboard artists, animators, whoever's out there, illustrators, children's book illustrators, whoever's out there, you got to do a project. I've been getting a lot of feed right now on artificial intelligence and and creating artwork. And I think one of the biggest things it's out there. It's a presence. But I think it's so important, friends, for you to have your own unique vision, your own unique project. There's only one of you, and you can't duplicate yourself. And you have a voice, you have an artistic voice, and you need to see that one through. So tonight we're going to be talking about a couple different things. Let me put the topic back up on our storyboard jam session. Oh, I didn't write it down on the jam session here. But our jam session tonight is about truly finding your voice and your style. And how can you go about that? There's only one you. And so, there's a few things we're going to be talking about tonight, but it's like I want to help you to discover you, your artistic style. You're a visionary in your own way, and the world needs to see your art. And we were talking about it for the project where we've already seen, a film like, Vertigo or The Birds or Psycho, and you don't need another Alfred Hitchcock. You don't need another, Steven Spielberg. You don't need another George Lucas or, Coppola or whoever it might be. We need to hear your voice. Whether you're into fine art, Rembrandt or whatever, what is your voice? What is your work? What are you going to bring in? We've already seen that. Those are the masters, and how do you create your vision of your interpretation of the world through your artwork? And we're going to be talking a little bit about that tonight. Plus, we had a special project that was a special request from Buddha Belly, and we're going to be going into that a little bit too. So hi to everybody. I got Buddha Belly joining and Marianne GR. Hey, how's it all going? How's your weekend treating you both? Are you doing well? Have you been doing some art this weekend or doing some stuff around the house, or what have you guys have been up to? So, sip my coffee here. So when I'm looking at this particular live stream, and I can't stress this enough, you want to perfect your artistic style, but I challenge you, and I think the biggest challenge is for you to do you. I think it is so important to figure out who you are as an artist and work on that, and to be able to speak to that vision of what you're trying to do, and thrive with your own artwork. Let me see here. So Buddha Belly's been working on a story right now. That's cool, and I've gotten to see a few of those images from that story, so, and some storyboards. That's pretty cool. So, but before we get into the topic, I had a special request from Buddha Belly, and I believe it was talking about eyes. So, we're talking about eyes, drawing eyelashes, drawing some expressions, and things like that. So, we're going to do a quick little segment here, and I'm happy to help you out. And thanks for the email. And so, let's talk about eyeballs. So, okay, cool. So, I'm going to go to Little Paul. Yeah. Oops. Let's turn. Marianne says, I've been doodling. I've been into digital circus lately. Cool. Okay, so let's draw some eyeballs. Yeah, no problem. Happy to help out, Buddha Belly. Okay, let's turn this off. And we'll sort of use it like this. Quick little art lesson here. This is just how I do it. So I'm not going to go into anatomy and all sorts of fancy stuff. We're just going to talk about eyes. Okay. Cool, I got everything rolling here. Oops, let's get some white. Okay, so let's talk about eyes, okay? Eyes are just a circle, in terms of what we're doing. And you have your pupil and your iris and all that good stuff. So let's talk about eyes. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple things that work for me when I'm drawing eyes. I'm not going to go into the anatomy, just the structure of the eye. We'll look at it both on the front profile and the side profile. And maybe I'll do a bigger, tutorial on how to draw eyes. So the way I'm looking at an eye, my little cheat for eyes, I'll do like a couple marks like this. Okay? And with those marks, I'll just come in and then finish that eye. You got your tear duct or whatever. And sort of what I do, you can sort of see how it all comes together. And there's so many different ways that you can draw that eye. We were talking about lashes and things like that. I'll draw the head of the eye like this. Be like that. We could sort of go with the eye, but it's sort of that sort of structure in terms of, you know, how I'm drawing those eyes. And we'll go over that again. So it'll be right here. So I don't make a big deal about it, but it's like, so when I'm thinking about the eyes, you can sort of see eyes are tricky. I never make them look good when the head is looking down. And there's different ways you can move that eye too. So once again, I'll show you sort of my strategy here. So I'll just sit there and you can draw all different types of eyes. I'll start with this, and I'll have that point come together. You can sort of, there's all different eyes and different types, you know, in terms of lots of lashes, and you can go into styling and all sorts of stuff. In terms of those eyes, and just sort of, I have fun with it and just play with it. I'll try different things. Sometimes I can overdo it and just have some fun with it, in terms of what we're doing here. But and when you're drawing, let's just say we're drawing the let's move this here. Again, you know, it's just using that simple structure, you know, in terms of what we're talking about. And there's different ways you can draw those eyes too. So if I was just drawing a single eye, sometimes I don't draw very much to it at all. So if it's a far away shot or something, I might draw an eye like this too, sort of stylized. I won't draw all the other parts to it, but I'll just keep it simple. If you're drawing head on, in terms of your eye, I sort of, when I'm working, I draw little noses when I'm drawing. Women or whatever, and when I'm thinking about that eye, I'll use those marks like that. Maybe she's looking over here to the side. You can sort of see that eye coming out like that. And let me add another layer on there. There's all different ways you can look at this, and some people go, okay, well, it's like in terms of how to draw this, you know, there's using the triangle method there, or if you're going to throw another layer on there too. This is another great way too. So if you have an eye this big, you should have like 3 eyes apart. So if this is 1, 2, 3, for balance in terms of how many eyes across there. So there would be 3 eyes across in terms of what you're doing. But it's having that. What's nice as a storyboard artist, you're just sort of going to it. You just gotta, you know, make it close enough for yourself. Let's move that over a little bit so you can sort of see that distance there. And then Buddha Belly was asking about eyelashes and those type of things. So when I'm drawing eyes, it's going to get a big eye. There's different ways you can do this. You can sort of keep it sort of sketchy. You can sort of swing it. I think this is one of those things that you can get some serious practice in. To work on those eyes. Another way where I work too when I'm drawing eyes. Let's just say I'm going to do a side profile. Pick a different color here. think I'm running out of space here. Let's shrink that down a little bit. If you're joining in the live stream, throw your name in the chat. Love to know who we're hanging out with tonight. I got Buddha Belly, got Marianne GR. If you're joining in, don't be shy. Say what's up. So you can sort of see that. That sort of angle I'll use. It's just sort of like a you sort of get the idea of how that works. Any questions, Buddha Belly, while we're doing this that'll help you out? Odd 10 Cafe, hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Odd 10 Cafe says, hi, been a bit since I've been able to catch a live. Well, welcome back. Appreciate you jumping in and hanging out. Super appreciate you joining. Like I always tell you guys, my friends out there, it's so exciting to hang out and be with all of you and visit with you and be able to share some knowledge, answer some questions. This was a special request from Buddha Belly, who emailed me earlier today and said, hey, listen, can we do something on you know, how can we work on eyes and stuff like that. So we're talking about eyes right now before we get into tonight's topic, but those are some of the cheats and stuff to help you, Buddha Belly, you know, go back, or whoever's learning too, you know, go back and, you know, pause this particular and keep drawing these eyes and having some fun with it. Let's emasculate this really quick too. And let's do some male eyes. Oop. Just call this one. Turn that off. Let's get another layer in here. So for women, yeah, no problem, Buddha Belly. So for women, I make it sort of pretty in terms of the way that I'm drawing eyes. Men, I even just simplify even more. Sometimes I don't even, there's no lash to it. I'll thicken the eyebrow. A lot too. I'll add some extra lines or wrinkles and things like that. So you can see for a man, I'll keep it a lot simpler. In terms of the shape And, like we always say, men's faces are lot, square. So as you can see, the eyes and eyebrows are a lot simpler when I'm drawing them quick. Simple shape eyes. So remember, just keep that shape simple. Keep it simple in terms of what you're doing. So I hope that helps you out and gives you friends at home a little bit of something to work with and to have some fun here, learning how to draw eyes. So cool. Hope everybody learned a lot. And for those that are just joining, welcome to the channel. Again, my name is Paul Angeli. I'm a live action storyboard artist. And happy to come to you on this beautiful evening. I'm always humbled on how many people, come and kick it with me on the jam and, have some fun together with you guys. It's always just a pleasure to hang out and chill out with you guys. So awesome. It's just so awesome, and I really appreciate you spending this special time. I appreciate the special request to other folks out there that if you want to learn something too, shoot me an email or DM me on Instagram. Be happy to throw it into our chats and have some fun. But you're welcome, Buddha Belly, not a problem. Happy to help out. Hope you learned something out of the quick little eye lesson. Maybe we'll do a video more extensive and go into all the anatomy and physiology of eyes and things like that. But that was a quick and dirty way to sort of be able to do what you're trying to do. So got some great people on, hanging out. If this is, like I said, your first time dropping into the live stream, drop your name in the chat. Let me know who we're talking to. We're all friends here. A lot of us have been together for the past 8 months and still hanging out and trying to make this content for you useful, and that you can always learn something or be inspired by watching me in my processes and listening on my journey. So cool. So let's get into tonight's topic and get into it a little bit more. I'm big on this, and I'm really and I've been reading a lot of articles from my professional friends, and just on the current status of the entertainment industry to AI in general, and I don't think this stuff is going away. And I've seen a lot of non-artists being able to use these prompt systems to generate some interesting work. The work looks good. But at times even though it looks good, it's sort of lacking that creative nature. And I think it's really important for artists to have your voice, and and that's what's important about art. Even since cave paintings or the Renaissance, or from sculpture to film to animation to children's book to comics to cartooning. And it was just was it Cartoonist Day the other day. And I think it's so important that you, as an artist, whether you're a musician, a dancer, an actor, whatever your art is, uh, there's only one of you, and you're special, and you have a unique look on life. You have a unique look on your artwork and where you see it. And you have to bloom to show the world your vision, your artistic style, you. And each of us go through a journey where we're learning how to draw. We're learning the basic fundamentals of drawing and color theory, and how do I draw with a pencil versus a pen versus a digital, or Procreate or whatever it might be, and we look at other people for examples, and we not only look for them examples, but we want to master their studies. We call it master studies. Okay, there's an artist that you like, so you copy their style, and you see a lot of it done in the manga anime sort of fashion, where a lot of people have been drawing like that for a while. They get excited about it, and I'm going to draw like this famous manga artist or whatever. Or there might be somebody you like. We all go through that. I remember when I started in animation, I had a very Disney style in terms of the way I drew it. If you go back, and maybe we'll do a sketchbook review and bust out some of these sketchbooks that are super, super old, blow off all the dust on them, and see where Paul used to draw. My style was very Disney-esque when I first got started, and I enjoyed drawing. It was very... I looked at people like storyboard artist Bill Peet. I looked at many other storyboard artists and early animators, Milt Kahl, Frank Thomas, Frank and Ollie, and all, the original Nine Old Men from the Disney animation side, even to people like Tom Bancroft, who animated young Simba, and animated Mushu from the what else did he do? He did a bunch of different characters and stuff. Worked on Beauty and the Beast. It's just like you find the styles, and then eventually I had a lot more comic influence, and in terms of my style, and I really, excuse me, I got big into Todd McFarlane's Spawn, and so I was drawing everything that really, cartoony, lots of what do you call it, tick marks in your page, and excuse me, those type of things to learn. And then I started getting into sort of liquid. It was called liquid television, and at the time when MTV and I go to the when I was growing up, I sneak over into Berkeley, over in California, and there was Spike and Mike's Sick and Twisted Film Festivals, and you saw early animators just getting their animation on, meaning like Mike Judge, who did Beavis and Butthead, and that was floating through those circuits those time. And that, when I went to these shows, excuse me, they would influence you. I think it was the first one was Frog Baseball, or another one would be Henry Selick. And Mike Judge, you've probably seen his work from Beavis and Butthead to King of the Hill, and his different films that he's done, Office Space and things like that. And other artists like I said, Henry Selick, who did some really crazy, great stop motion animation, and worked with Tim Burton on The Nightmare Before Christmas, and working on that. So during that Liquid Television time, I got heavy into Peter Chung. Peter Chung did a series of a female bounty hunter called Aeon Flux, and was loved his work. And another person he worked with on Aeon Flux and other stuff was Robert Valley, and another artist. So you're bringing in all these different artists into your plethora of, now you look back all these years in the future now, and you go look back, and eventually you've pulled all those different things to create your own style. It's not an overnight process, so be patient with yourself as you're trying to have that unique vision. You look at people. I remember reading the comics of Gen 13. It was a Jim Lee series, and J. Scott Campbell was doing the drawings. And you look at him today, and he's doing a lot of cover art for a lot of comics. He's done worked with Disney, and he has his own unique spin on how to draw women, and just very unique style. I love his work still. It's great, but it's metamorphosized from what it was into what it is today, or and you see where artists are going. But we're pulling those collections of different artists, and I've pulled a lot from Robert McGinnis to Hal Foster to all different artists that I've looked at and studied, and you sort of come up with your own style. So it does take time, friends. So be patient with yourself. But you're trying to find that, because when you get all that muscle memory, and when I just start drawing stuff, it sort of has your own style and your own spin after all these days. But so how do you find that style? And we've talked about finding your style, and we talked about drawing, and drawing some more, and then pulling those things that you like to draw. There's some artists out there, storyboard artists too, that just some of the most fantastic animal drawings, and they know how to draw animals inside and out, backwards. I think it's David Coleman, just absolutely phenomenal, artist. And when it comes to animals, bears, lions, tigers, elephants, wolves, whatever it might be, but also a very, very talented storyboard artist too. So you take those things, we're studying all those different things, and we're practicing, but when you take a step back and you look at your work and you go, well, I like to draw this, and I like to draw that, and I like this type of shading, or maybe I'm just based on color, and so there's a lot of things that you can pull from to get those things, and then you can go sort of focus on them. I remember when I was a kid, there was a young guy that I went to school with, and man, he could draw architecture without any rulers and stuff like that. He just drew the most beautiful, like, haunted houses and just great work like that. It was just amazing to see, and he just he could just rattle it off. Everything was in perspective. Everything was, it was just beautiful work, and just talented in that arena at a young age. So you go and you practice, and you find those things that you're really talented at, and you find your sort of your main voice of who you are. And when it comes to like storyboards, I love drawing action sequences. I love that, but also too, it's like I like fantastic stuff too. It's everybody has their style, and even in storyboards, there's maybe somebody who's very good at comedy, another person who's really great at dramatic, or another person that's just awesome at establishing shots, or somebody who likes to, they can really do a dynamic action scene in terms of what they're doing, and there's all different types. So another step that we talked about too on finding your voice was to go do master studies. Find those artists that you have something that you like about their work, and you're not necessarily copying. If you're copying, then copy, but don't use it as your own work. You're using it as a thinking and to learn. And then you go, and from the basics, what are those minute things that you like about their work, and how do you put that in? How do you fold that? It's like making a big big cake and you're folding the dough, or making a big bread and you're folding the dough of all these different ideas and thoughts and styles in terms of what you're doing. And eventually in time, you will find your voice. And like I said before, it's super important to find that voice, because the world needs to hear your voice. You think about it, and you go sit there, and if Walt Disney, uh, if he never created Oswald the Lucky Rabbit or Mickey Mouse, there would be no Disney. You think of somebody like George Lucas, writing and creating Indiana Jones. There would be no Indiana Jones. That's his unique voice. Or you have other films out there. If you didn't have a Tim Burton, you would have never have gotten the 1989 Batman with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson, or you would never have gotten The Nightmare Before Christmas, or any of the Beetlejuice. You wouldn't have gotten any of these things. And I think the world out there needs those unique visions, and your vision too. Whether you're doing storyboards for live action films, you're an animator, you're working on storyboards for animation, you're a comic artist, you're a children's book illustrator, just an illustrator, graphic novels, whatever it might be, or whatever your art is, from music to dance to singing, or whatever it might be, or writing songs. I'm completely tone deaf, and maybe it sounds great in my head. I'd be one of the worst American Idol contestants out there, so can't sing a lick. But it's very hard for me to pick up an instrument and play that way too. Yet my sons both play instruments and play fantastic, and just pick it up and write their own music and everything. I'm like, how do you do that? Well, Dad, how do you draw? So it's fun to talk about that stuff. But I think my point is to find your voice and let your voice be shown. And I haven't seen everybody's artwork that's watching here on the live streams, but quite a few of you have been kind enough to share your hidden gems with me. And in a lot of you, I've seen your process from when we first met here on the YouTube channel to today, and just leaps and bounds of progress I see in terms of your artistic style, and the quality of your work is getting very, very good. So continue on that process in terms of what you're doing. So let's go back over to the Blackboard real quick. Any questions? Drop it in the chat. This is dynamic. It's interactive. Feel free. Drop it in the chat. I'm going to take a sip of my drink here. Wet my whistle. So if you have any questions, drop it in the chat. Super appreciate that. We're going to turn this off here. Boom, ba-dum, boom, boom. So like we spoke about too, so the world needs your artistic voice, okay? Or you can say your voice or style. Your vision. And we also talked about, you know, how do we find that? How do we find that unique voice? We find it by drawing a lot. Besides drawing a lot, we're going to review our work. To seek out what you like about your work. You're going to hone in and practice what you like, creating more artwork. You're going to do some master studies. Of artists you like. You're going to pull what you like. And fold it into your work. Okay. You're going to keep practicing. Keep learning. And repeat. And do it all over again. And it just takes time, you know? And like we were saying, all these things take time. Don't be hard on yourself. Nine. Have fun finding you. I think that's the biggest thing, is to have fun. You know, like this mermaid or mermaid challenge. I've never done it before, and you know, I'm going to it and having fun putting this thing together and having some fun doing it. So, you know, I think it's super important to have new projects and to find your voice in terms of what you're doing. And for me, you know, I sat there and I'm like, wow, I never really would have thought I would be sitting there, you know, drawing mermaids. I don't even remember the last time I drew a mermaid. And you're sitting there going, holy smoke, I've drawn a lot of mermaids right now, in terms of, you know, what you're doing and how you're going forward with it. And I think it's a pretty cool process in terms of you know, learning what you're doing, you know. And for me, it's been a cool process, and we're not even halfway there yet with this process. And simplify that a little bit. You know, I would have. You sit there and practice your styles. Kelly Johnson, hey, thanks for joining in, Kelly. I want to draw like my hero, John Romita Jr. No, that's awesome. So what I would say is, look at John's work there, my friend, and literally, you know, not that you're going to show your copies of his work, but you know, practice drawing. You know, sometimes you gotta learn by tracing his work and find out how his lines work and how he creates texture with his lines and his inking and his pencils. Sometimes it's great to look at an artist's pencils and then look at their inks and literally copy it. You know, don't put it on Instagram and make it your own work. You're just doing it to learn, and then go draw your characters using that style, you know, in terms of what you're doing there. And I think it's a great way to learn and to study and to do these master studies, you know. That's cool. That's how we learn. You never stop. You just keep practicing and keep honing in those skills of what you're doing. Yeah, he has a very versatile style. You're absolutely right, Kelly. I've been really drawing this Ronin style mermaid lately. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Draw a fight scene like crazy. Yeah. So true. Everybody has their specialty in terms of what they're doing. Everybody has their special voice. That's cool. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I bet. Delivered on time too. You're absolutely right, Kelly. And I just think there's so much we can learn from each other in terms of learning how to draw. And it's just a cool process overall. But you can do those things to find your unique voice. Because the world really needs your unique voice. We don't need to see the same old artist all the time. Or be the next Todd McFarlane or Greg Capullo or whatever artist, Travis Charest, Jim Lee. We need to hear your voice. And hear your unique style. We need to see it. And that's what makes it so unique, and that's where something like AI and these other tools out there, you can battle with it because you do have your own unique voice. Yeah, I think that's a tough thing. And, in comics, you have to deliver on time. Same thing with storyboard artists. As a storyboard artist, you don't deliver your shots and your storyboards on time. You're not going to be working very much, and because time is money, and you got to be able to have those shortcuts in terms of what you're doing. That's why giving yourself a project too is good. I don't like where this thing's going. Yeah, it's just that constant practice to get that unique voice going. Poor Kelly's still waiting on All-Star Batman and Robin. Yeah, I've been having fun with this mermaid challenge. I think it's been fun. I'm excited to share with you my animation stuff that I've been working on. Oops. Yeah, I've just been having a blast with this thing. I think this my mermaid has come so far as well. But find that unique voice. What is it that you like to draw? Some people are just awesome at four-legged horses. It's just amazing to see. So since we had our last little chat, has anybody been working on a project yet or created a project? I know Buddha Belly's working on her story. Curious if anybody's worked on her projects yet. Did you already have a thumbnail for this? No, I didn't. Just sort of freehanding her. Guess I'm just letting it rip. Polly, what practice helped you level up your storyboarding speed and skills the most? Good question. That's a good question. What helped me speed up? I think for me it is simplifying. You know, the shape. When I'm boarding, I tend to already see the image in my head, and I just try to use as few lines as possible to give the message. Here we're spending a little bit more time, but I think it's so important. You were talking about comic artists hitting their deadlines, Kelly, and it's a good question. And I think for me, I will once I get my sequence sort of thumbnail or putting the thumbnails together, I'll already see the images of what I want to be, what I want happen with the director's vision and my vision, and you know what we can do. If it's my own personal project, I'll do my own thing, but I really want to listen to the director and read that shooting script as much as I can, and I will try to use as few lines as possible and get as many shots in to get the piece done, and then iterate from there. I think it's so important to hit your deadlines. So if I have a commitment, if I'm going to get thumbnails or some rough thumbnails done by X date, I will bend over backwards to get those rough thumbnails done, you know, and once those get approved, then I will go from a simple line art drawing and then do more of a refined line art drawing, and then to the final stage, which most of the time it's a grayscale, you know, in terms of what we're doing. I won't add all the bells and whistles. Sometimes I'll have some flat, like a 75, 50%, 25%, try to keep it to a few tones, you know, on gray tones in terms of what I'm doing. And I think that another thing that speeds me up too is that I'll work on, once I have a sequence completed, that's good, and it reads well and it's been approved, and all the notes have been put into it and updated and iterated. If I'm doing like a final render, I'll render the beginning and the end. So you start strong and you end even stronger. And if I don't get to some of the render or the backgrounds in the middle, it's okay. And a lot of action sequences, I don't have a lot of backgrounds in it. You're just seeing the objects moving in terms of what you're doing. So I try to keep it simple. You know, that's why I was recommending, you know, folks to check out somebody like you know, Darwin Cook, you know, in terms of comic styles and other things like that that are just simple. And even though they're super simple, they're super complicated because an artist knows what they're doing, you know, when they're laying down their strokes and getting it to the point of what you're trying to do. And I think the biggest thing is there's so many things that you do as a storyboard artist, you know, from composition to your visual language, in terms of what you're doing, in terms of, you know, you're pushing story. You're a storyboard artist. You've got to tell a story with your images. And, you know, I think the other thing I think that helped me too, Kelly, is when I'm practicing, I'm just drawing with, I usually use pens. Pens help out a lot, is because when you're using a pencil or you're working digital, you can play around and noodle with this stuff until it looks perfect in your mind's eye, or it matches your mind's eye. When you're working with pens, you sort of just got to get to the point, man. You got to you know, I think I was joking around with Buddha Belly about it. It's just like you just got to be committed, man. You got to lay that ink is infusing with that paper. You're done. Move on. Next picture. And so I think it's super important to practice like that. And the other thing I do too is I do speed drills, just like a sports player. You know, how fast can I draw a car? How fast can I draw trees and setting and when you're putting yourself up against a clock, you'll cut out all the detail. And so I hope that helps you. It gives you some pointers of stuff that's helped me. See if it'll help you. Try those different things to see if that'll knock out stuff for you quicker. If you can't, if not, simplify. Maybe you only use 10 lines. 10 lines of storyboard. How 10 strokes. In terms of how you're drawing. To get those shapes in and have some fun with it. Those are some good challenges, and if I have students when I was teaching college, had students working with me, and you're learning how to draw, you're doing how to do different things. It's having those simplistic ways of thinking. In terms of sometimes when you're drawing, maybe you just draw with contour. And draw your figure in contours and stuff like that. So I have another person that I know really well. Let me turn this off real quick. And it's like I've seen storyboards at all different levels. If you can draw. A stick figure. It's sort of like that, like an animator would draw that, the potato sack type of scenario. If you could animate a potato sack, you can do that type of thing. Another idea I have too is when I'm drawing is I'll just think of those simple shapes, because you could always add the detail later, but it's like if I'm drawing this mermaid, just think of everything in simple shapes, because you're thinking of silhouette and contour. It'll go a lot quicker, and you can do a lot of dynamic motions. And the same thing goes with however you're drawing. You can do a lot of simple things. tell you a story, whether I'm telling a Superman story. You can keep everything pretty simple in terms of what you're doing, and I'm not showing my screen. Let me turn that back off again. I always forget. So, you know, you sit there and think about it, and we're talking about moving these characters. You can keep it pretty simple. And you could always come back in and refine it from there. That makes sense. Cool. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit, Kelly. Gives you some ideas there. And sometimes you sit there and you look at something like this, where it's like this basic sketch here. Where's this sketch? If I'm doing a shot, maybe that's all my shot is, you know, and I'll go on to the next shot from there to there to there. As we get fancier. And fancier. But I think the goal is to find your voice, find you. Now we're just noodling away now. Oops. Oh, the marker went crazy on that one. Any other questions out there? Time is at 1:16 in the morning. Just having fun noodling on this drawing. Grab that. I can do. Just grab all this. Do something like that. Okay. Different brush in there. Okay, well, cool. Save that real quick. Awesome. Put my pen down. Boom. Well, cool. Anybody else have any questions? We'll leave it open for just a second more. Have some fun here. Drew a quick little action shot with this mermaid. Hope everybody's having fun tonight and you're drawing along with me and having some fun, learning a little bit too. We talked about, just to recap what we talked about in this particular live stream, we talked about a quick little tutorial that Buddha Belly wanted to see how to draw eyes and work on eyelashes and eyelids and stuff like that. Maybe we'll do a video again. Tonight's topic was on the topic of, find your style and do you. I think it is so important to find your voice. We gave you a bunch of tips from practicing a lot to finding, evaluating your work and finding out what you like drawing most. We talked about master studies to find your artistic style, and and then go do you. Figure out who you are and put that all together to find your voice. And I'm really critical about this, friends. I think it is so important out there in today's times right now is to have your own voice in terms of your work. I try to be unique in terms of what I'm doing. One of the things with this challenge that I was trying to do with this mermaid challenge is not do what I see. A lot of people have some just incredible artwork, but to me it's a certain theme, and it's all sort of looks the same a little bit. And how do you make yourself different, and how do you stand out with your own unique version of you and what you bring to the table? And and whether it be artists that you like or whatever, and it's like that's what makes you stand out. And I think it is so important to challenge yourselves in finding that look and that style that's you, and you're the only, because you're the only person who can create it. Don't go and copy everybody. Go do you. Create your own style and have your own voice, and people will like it. Because it's unique, fresh, different. And if there's an audience for your style, they'll go to it. You think about we're talking about Tim Burton earlier. He brought a new sort of goth sort of look to everything that he did for the 1989 Batman. You saw what he did for Beetlejuice, and over the time he has his own unique style. Same thing with Danny Elfman from Oingo Boingo, who composed a lot of Tim Burton's theatrical music for his scores. And you think about Danny Elfman's work, and I remember hearing that for the first time. I was a big fan of Oingo Boingo. Then all of a sudden I heard with the Batman, and you heard Danny Elfman's composition of the movie for the movie score, and you're just like, oh my goodness gracious, who's that? Danny Elfman? Oh, cool. When you have your own unique style, it just comes through. And you think of all these people, if they never had their own unique style, we wouldn't appreciate it like we do today. And so go for it. Go find your style. Again, I had a fun time with you guys. I appreciate everybody who was hanging out with me tonight. Buddha, Belly, always a pleasure. My friend Kelly Johnson hanging out. Marianne GR. I had, who else did I have here? I had somebody else. I had Odd 10 Cafe back again, hanging out. I sincerely appreciate you guys all watching. If you guys learned something and enjoy what you're doing, I'm not sponsored by Buy Me a Coffee, but I do have a Buy Me a Coffee site. So if you want to leave me a tip, super appreciate that. I put all my proceeds over here to once in a while coffee, but I try to put it back into the channel to give you folks great value and even more value. So if you feel like leaving a tip, pretty much appreciate that. And just heads up, folks, I'll be using this Buy Me a Coffee platform to do my personal one-on-one mentoring and my membership programs through here. So again, I hope you guys had a great night. I'll leave you with my contact information at the end of the live stream here, but I super appreciate you all hanging out with me tonight. Thanks for taking time out of your busy day that you can hang out on anywhere that you want, but anywhere on YouTube as well, but you decided to hang out with me tonight. So thank you for watching live, and if you're watching this on the replay, super appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification button. It'll remind you the next time I'm ready to post. Other than that, I'm going to go get some rest tonight and get back to it tomorrow. You guys have, for those mothers out there, happy Mother's Day to all of you for tomorrow, which is already tomorrow right now. So happy Mother's Day, and have a great evening and the rest of your weekend. I will catch you on the next live stream. Keep drawing and keep telling your stories. Take care, everybody. I'll see you next time.